So now we've covered what kinds of foods you need to buy. But how are you going to get all of your nutrients? There are so many nutrients that the human body and brain need in order to function optimally. I'm going to talk to you about what these are and where you can get them from. The first I'm going to cover is protein. Where do you get your protein? And what is the best source of protein for a human? Well, in order to answer this question, I'm going to ask one of the strongest animals I know that happens to resemble the human. Fritz the gorilla.
I get my protein from my bananas and my greens.
Wow, really?
Indeed.
Thanks, Fritz, for letting us know. You know, when Fritz told me this, I was actually really surprised. You know why? Because I thought about humans and where humans get their protein, and, we usually get it from what? Meat, right? Okay, so then I looked at what he was getting, and he looks a lot stronger than I do. And I realized that he was building proteins from the amino acids that are in the leafy greens and the fruit that he eats in the bananas. Then I thought, well, doesn't the human body need to do the same thing? It turns out it does. The human body needs organic, whole, fresh amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, in order to create its own protein, muscle, and flesh. We don't need to eat meat from another animal in order to get that protein. We could, but what we would have to do first is break that flesh down into amino acids and then see if we could use those amino acids in order to create protein to build muscle and fat. In addition, the amino acids that are in meat have been cooked, since most people don't eat their meat raw. This means that those amino acids are no longer fresh, so they've been denatured or in some cases completely destroyed. So what would be a better way for us to get our protein, Fritz the gorilla?
From your fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. Fruits and vegetables are loaded with organic, fresh, whole amino acids so that we can create healthy protein as humans. Thank you, Fritz, for your help.
You're very welcome.
Wasn't he great? Okay, so we've covered protein. Next, I want to go over vitamins and minerals. Where are you getting your vitamins and minerals? Is it in a vitamin pill? Look, if it was that easy for us to get all of our vitamins and minerals from popping a pill, don't you think everyone would be doing it? Gee, everyone is. Maybe that's why America is one of the most malnourished and overfed nations. We're trying to pop a pill to get all of our nutrients. Unfortunately, while there may be some vitamins that you can use in a vitamin pill, synthetic man-made nutrients can never be a substitute for the fresh nutrients found in fresh foods. Therefore, the only way for us to make sure that we get everything that we need is to take those organic, fresh, whole foods and get a wide variety of them in our diets. A good way to make sure that you're getting everything is to get colors of food from every part of the rainbow, because different colors happen to have different nutrients. For example, you could get the blues and purples from things like blueberries and blackberries, or the yellows from bananas, like Fritz the gorilla, and mangoes, or reds from watermelons and tomatoes, and so on. Getting a variety of nutrients from a variety of fresh foods is the best way to get all of your vitamins and minerals. Next, let's look at fats. Not all fat is bad, even though some of you may cringe when you hear the word fat. Some fats are bad, and the ones that you want to avoid are the trans fats. These are the fats that you're going to find in foods such as fast food hamburgers, French fries, chips, and other processed and packaged foods. Trans fats are created when we hydrogenate oils, and this is done just to preserve the shelf life of a food, such as these hamburgers. I've heard that you can leave these in the fridge for many months and they will still look the same. I've never tried it, but that doesn't sound like the kind of food I want to be eating. You want to get good, healthy fats. These are known as the MUFAs, or the monounsaturated fats. And these are the kind of fats that you're going to find in foods such as avocados and walnuts, other nuts and seeds, olives and olive oil. You want to get these foods in your diet, and they can actually help you to lose weight, as well as helping your brain and nervous systems to function optimally. So there's one more nutrient I want to talk about, and many of you may not consider this to be a nutrient, and that is hydration, or water. The human body is 70% water, And since we are what we eat, we need to ensure that the foods that go in our mouth are also 70% water. Well, let's take a look at some common foods that are eaten, such as granola or pasta or bread. These foods have been cooked. And in the cooking process, much of the water, if not all of the water, is removed from the food. Therefore, a dehydrated food is created. On top of that, we add things to the food, such as salt and preservatives, which will further dehydrate the human body. And then to top it all off, to hydrate ourselves, we reach for energy drinks or caffeinated beverages. And these beverages, again, will dehydrate the body and create more of a need for water. So we end up being very dehydrated human beings. The solution to this is to eat foods that are already 70% hydration. These include foods such as watermelons, honeydews and cantaloupes, peaches, plums, pears, apples, tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuce, kale, bananas, all of those foods that are organic, whole, and fresh.